Hello, it's April 1st, and today we're taking a look at Laysara Summit Kingdom. I'm Poplar Ponderosa, and in this series, we're playing a new game first day of every month. Otherwise, the channel is mainly focused on city skylines too. Laysara Summit Kingdom is currently in early access, developed by Quite OK Games and published by Future Friends Games. Laysara is a city builder where you need to build compact towns on steep mountainsides. It's heavily focused on resource management and does not feature military or combat. Let's have a look at the game modes in a second, but I want to quickly highlight that this is kind of neat. They show their early access roadmap right in the main menu. You can have a look. Recently, they actually just released their sandbox mode, which I'll go over in a moment. But you can see they have campaign mode and 1.0 release coming up, as well as some more scenarios, challenges, and apparently a new resource transportation method. If we go to new game, okay, here in the new game menu, we can see we've got several options. Campaign, as I mentioned, is coming with full release, so I won't really go over that. Scenario is what I've mainly been playing, so you choose from various mountains, differing in shape and conditions, and play standalone adventure, and you would basically try to achieve a series of objectives. Sandbox mode is the new mode where you can establish multiple towns on different mountains and you connect them through trading networks. There's no tutorials or detailed objectives and no limits. This is quite interesting. It sounds similar to what you would think as a creative build, but it's kind of different. So free build, I'll skip over challenge for a second. Free build is there's no limits at all. There's no money, there's no resources, no needs for your little villagers to fill. So you just build whatever you want. Whereas sandbox, you still do have some of those resource constraints and the money and everything. Then there's also challenges, and that's kind of more similar to the scenarios, but they're very specific. I would say it's like City Skylines 1 scenario, where you have a specific situation. You have to optimize the little city that you build for a specific purpose. And I would love to cover the sandbox. I've tried it out a little bit. I will show you quickly a little bit about it, and then I'll explain why we're not going to be playing it today. So they're talking about how there's not a lot of resources here, and this mountain, while it's big, they're actually telling you to go build summit temples somewhere else and then come back here. And you can see the other mountains. And you start with the one you're on here, and then you have two other big mountains that you can go to. That's when I realized that sandbox mode is actually quite long. It would be challenging to put in a simple video like this. I'm going to hop out of this mode, and then I will just jump into the regular scenario. So let's do that now. Okay, so we're going to go to scenario here. They give you two beginner mountains here, identified by these little leaves. And I think I'm going to choose Demon's Rest. I have played on it before. I think it's really nice. It has balanced vegetative zones, some copper and rock crystals. There's also some resources available to import and export. There's some rivers and avalanches. Yes, we have to watch out for avalanches. They can damage our buildings and you'd have to repair them in a way. But we'll get to that. So I'm going to play on Demon's Rest. Let's get into it. And I'm going to choose Adept. There's several difficulties here. Note that they have a custom difficulty where you customize all kinds of parameters, which I think is really awesome. I wish more games had this. And I think I'm just going to choose Adept because it is nice and easy and it'll be good for this video. Alright, so here we are on our mountain. I'll read out what the characters are saying here. And here it is, a mountain, where we can work towards raising a summit temple. Huh? What is that shape? This is actually really cool. I like how they've done the design of some of the mountains. It's really neat. It looks like a footprint of a giant animal. Maybe there was some enormous ancient creature living here. Could you imagine? Maybe they were as huge as the mountains themselves, and people were settling upon them. I wonder if that's a nod to another game. Was Wandering Village? And what else? They gathered resources from the creatures' backs while they just wandered around? That does feel like a nod to Wandering Village. One thing is for certain, we'll have to unravel the mystery of this place. Alright, we can see here we've been given our first objective. That is to provide 40 lowlanders with sampa, which is a type of food. We can find all our building options down here at the bottom. Some really nice tools that I'll go over in a minute. We have all our resources and population at the top. There are 3 types of population. We have lowlanders, artisans, and monks. You build different houses for each types of them. We have our budget. We'll get into that in a minute. But basically, there's a treasury, which you can see on the right side there. I have 2,000 right now. Start with a full. I have a balance of 300. The balance is kind of like your upkeep, and if you go into negative, you start eating into your treasury, and if your treasury runs out, you lose the game. So you want to make sure that you're always in a positive, balanced budget, and it kind of gives you time to sort things out and balance your budget. But, we'll experience that a few times, and we'll go through that. Now you will see as I zoom out here, you have lots of building areas on these steep mountain sides, and you will be able to build roads, and then you can build bridges between these building areas, and you can also build shafts to get up and down the cliff. That's how you get around. We have food buildings, we have prosperity buildings, and we have enlightenment buildings. You can see each of these colors are actually linked to the types of residences. We have lowlanders, that's the blue one, food. We have artisan house, that's the artisans work on making crafts. And then we have the enlightenment section, and this is where all the monks work, and so we also have monks' dormitories. So that's all something that you have to balance throughout the game. And then they also use yaks. And so you can see here in our residential buildings, we also carry yak pasture. So we need yaks to do work for us. And we have our distribution buildings, we have avalanche management, and we have treasury, and then resources. There's lots of different types of resources, so once you go in here, you can see all these different production chains in here, which is kind of a nice way to organize the buildings into the production chains themselves. There's a couple really nice tools here. There's a duplicate tool. It's kind of like Picker in Picker mod in City Skylines, which is awesome that it's just built into the game. And I'll quickly show you how that works. So if I have a hut here and I want to build another hut quickly, I just duplicate, click it, and I can quickly start building more huts. We can also move. We have basically like just move buildings freely. It doesn't cost anything to move them. And then demolishing, we can just demolish as we want, and the nature comes back into place there. So I think with enough introduction of our tools and our building options, I think we can jump in. Oh, and the one last thing, there is multiple speeds. We can pause and we can set faster speeds if we want to balance our budget. And that is kind of useful. Okay, with our introduction of our tools and buildings out of the way, I think we're going to start trying to achieve our first objective. I guess you will notice there is a day and night cycle. Right now we're getting some nice aurora borealis. Basically, you're working off grids, so you're going to see a lot of grid patterns. I'll try and maybe fast forward through some of the building parts, and I'll talk about some more important stuff as I go. So please enjoy some time-lapse segments as I build. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to get into the food here. I'm going to need a food market, because those distribute food out into your living areas. And I'm going to need Lowlanders to work in these buildings. And you can demolish anything and move things around at any time, so you don't really have to worry too much about what you're doing. Some people call this kind of like a puzzle builder, because you're constantly moving things around to try and optimize. Right now it's telling me that I have 18 unemployed Lowlanders and 10 employed, so 10 of them are working food market. Now if I click on a building here, you'll see they have needs. And the highlighted options are things that I can make to fulfill their needs. And I need to fulfill needs to upgrade the buildings. When you upgrade them, they get a higher population. So you basically get higher density, which is good because then you can start making more money. You can also see I'm starting to eat into my balance here with the upkeep of my food market. I have to keep in mind how much money I'm making and how many buildings I'm building. To get Sampa, we go into our food menu, Sampa production, and you can see that there's 3 levels of production per zone. Right now I'm in the most fertile area, the green area. You can see the grass is very green. I'm going to get 6 from here, and I need 24 to make 12 Sampa. And when they're horizontally placed like this, as long as one of these is touching the road, the rest of them are touching the road. So this one reaches the road because of this one. So that's nice. And then I can put a mill down. I will put that here. And you have to set your transport routes for each building. Now you can see these highlighted areas. That's the range in which I can deliver something. So now I'm producing 12 tsampa from the barley, and I can send that to my market. Now I'm only providing 28 Lowlanders with tsampa because I don't have that many people living here. Now we have 40 Lowlanders with tsampa. Moving on to our next objective. We need to have 10 Lowlander huts at level 2, so we need to fulfill some needs. These bars here tells you the resource income and the consumption. Now, buildings or residential buildings don't automatically level up. You have to manually level them, which is kind of nice, because once you do, it will still will start eating into your resources more as you increase density. So let's go ahead and level these up. And look at that, we've got 10 Lowlander huts at level 2. Perfect. Let's move on to our next objective. Alright, nothing unexpected has happened. This looks like an ordinary mountain to me. Nonsense. You're blind to the true meaning of the signs clearly given to us by the spirits. Alright, have it your way. But it doesn't change the fact that we need to develop our town further. We should use these copper deposits. Our folks would appreciate some utensils. That doesn't sound terrible, but what about all this snow? Won't it bury us in a few moments? Relax, we're not at risk of an avalanche just yet, and if we are, we'll just use some foresters to deal with the issue. So there's a way to mitigate avalanche threats, and I'll show you that in a minute. So you can see here, we actually have a shortage of 2 yaks. I think they're the ones that are currently running around in here, in these wheels. It reminds me of Timberborn, even just in there. So I should probably get a yak pasture. Now these, as far as I can tell, they don't have to be a certain distance away from anything. So I'm tempted to put all my yaks over here. Let's build a big bridge. It's go across this wide chasm. Go to there. That's insane. I would feel very unsettled crossing a bridge like that. Now, you have to keep in mind that the yak pastures, they do need a workforce of lowlanders, and there is an upkeep. So we have to be mindful of that. So our current goal is to provide 50 artisans with utensils. To do that, we need a commodity supplier to actually sell the utensils, and we also need to manufacture them. So let's get a copper mine going. Head up to our deposit, which you can see here. It's nice green and bronze looking area. Pop that down there. We'll get a shaft from here to here. Can I send to multiple places from here? No, I can't. There's a way around that. So what I will do is I'll disable that for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a carrier post. And the carrier post can take resources. So I'm going to send my copper to the carrier post, and the carrier post can send to multiple places. So I'm going to send that there, and I'm going to build another one. Oh, I can use my picker. Nice. Now we've got a little supply chain, and I need to be sending this copper to a market. A commodity supplier. It's different from a food market. And we need artisans to be working at this place. You can see my budget is way down because I'm hiring workers from outside. And I'm not within range of my food market down here, so I actually need another food market up here. Now I'm still in the negative here, and my treasury is dwindling very quickly. But there's something that the game didn't tell me for a long time, and it took me a while to figure it out. But if you go into the treasury menu, there is a donation spot, and it requires artisans to work at. But essentially, they take donations. It's like taxing your citizens. They take donations. And you'll see it has an upkeep itself, but it'll pay for itself. Watch this. You can see my balance is my upkeep is at negative 217. Once I put this down, it's now at negative 190. That's also didn't go up as much because I'm hiring more artisans from outside. We'll get some more artisans here. There, and we're also using so many yaks, and the yaks are all working here. That's also costing us a lot. So let's get more yaks, shall we? Right now I'm doing all this while paused so that I can balance my budget. You can see I'm actually now positive 206 just because I was hiring all those yaks from out of town. So I think I can unpause, and I'm going to go up to speed 3 and let my, or actually it's 10 times speed. I'm going to let my treasury refill. Alright, so our treasury is full again. I'll go back to 1 speed, and let's send our utensils to our commodity supplier. So now, all of these people here should be getting utensils. They are. They also need food, though. Oh, there was an avalanche. We just got a warning about that. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. It even comes down into this area too. That's something to be aware of. You can see the spread of it here. So if I start building up here in the future, which I will, I have to stop this avalanche spot from coming down and damaging my buildings. If I leveled these up, I would have increased the density. Then there would have been more people living in there, and I wouldn't have needed to build more houses. That's okay. Okay, let's see what they have to say. Last night, the spirit sent a vision to me. I saw myself looking through earth and rock into the nature of the universe itself. Were you sure you didn't just eat too much before bed? Yes, but so what? Never mind. Now it's perfectly clear to me what we have to do. We'll build an academy in the highest region of this mountain. From there, my brothers and sisters will observe and contemplate the mysterious footprint. They're basically telling me to build an academy up here somewhere. Okay, so I've just been playing around trying to get my Tsampa up from lower levels up to here and try and keep my fields off of this upper area to try and save space, because I know they do take up some space, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to go that far. I just can't quite send it that far. So unless there's any chance I can get it as close as possible, maybe? Oh, can be done. Look at that. And because this one was close enough, that one will do it. And this can go to there. And we have Tsampa. Nice. We have to provide 40 monks on the high zone with a scholarship. And look at that. We provided 40 monks on the high zone with access to a scholarship at an academy. And that increases our research level by 1. We're now at research level 1, which starts to unlock more building. Okay, let's move on. I'm a little worried. Our yaks seem to be anxious, like they are afraid of something. Maybe the ghost of the ancient creature is to blame. I don't believe so. The simple mind of a yak cannot comprehend the intricacies of supernatural beings. Ooh. Exactly. They understand more than you can imagine. Look, poor things, they're shaking. I'm sure they're just too warm. Why not trim their fur? And use it for producing textiles. Ingenious. Okay, so we have to provide 100 citizens with textiles. Now we're only providing 56 citizens with textiles, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the density here. I can see I'm in a yak deficit. There we go, and now I'm in a lowlander deficit. We have unlocked the mandala. It requires 6 monks, has -9 upkeep. I think that reaches almost all of them. And I think if we upgrade these, because we have our donation spot, we're going to see our revenue go up, and we're going to see our population of artisans go up. And I'm just going to take a moment before I do the last one. I'm just going to confirm we have 4 people living there, and when we upgrade it, we have 8, so that doubles the amount of people living there. And now we have satisfied our objective of providing 100 citizens with textiles. And now we're in a cheese shortage. Great cheese shortage of 2025. Okay, so I think we are in a good spot to move on. Don't have any deficits, I'm making money, and everybody seems happy. So let's continue on, shall we? Okay, so we now have monasteries available. So we have to build one and have it at 50% efficiency. Oh, an avalanche. Hey, look at that. Our foresters worked. They stopped it all. That was the first test. Is it painted cedar to monastery to get 50% efficiency. All right, we achieved our current objective. Let's move on, shall we? All right, so we have to provide 120 citizens with fish. We have a river here. It comes down past both of these spots here. So let's see if we can get some fish. And we achieved our goal. That one was pretty quick and easy. It worked. We got a ton of delicious fresh fish. Yes, but I won't lie, the stench is pretty terrible. Ah, I just got an idea. You know what else doesn't stink? Money. She's not impressed. Okay, so he's wanting to sell fish. We have to go to the treasury. Yeah, trading post. That's where it is. I'll build one up here. So now I'm selling 21, and we've achieved our objective. I like how they put little signs on here to tell you what they're selling. Can we build this temple or whatever already and be gone from here? Actually, I think the monks are having a gathering of some sorts in the monastery. I'm sure they'll tell us what they come up with shortly. Oh yes, of that I'm sure. Okay, after quite a bit of management, I've managed to get my revenue, or my balance, above. That took quite a bit of work, actually, of shifting things around, changing the types of roads, building a few more houses here and there. And yeah, I'm going to throw this on max speed so that I can just get my treasury back up to where I want it to be. I'm on the second last objective here, so we're getting very close to finishing. Let's have a look at what we're supposed to do here. Have 50 houses, any caste at level 3. Okay, so just by adding in some decorations and some fish, I've been able to level up quite a few houses here. And this is increasing the density and bringing back some revenue, which is awesome. Alright, I have managed to completely upgrade this area. I think completely. I might have a couple level 2 huts in here. But these Lowlander huts are all now level 3. And they are looking very nice. We made it. We have had a breakthrough. Okay, that sounds promising. We have come to the conclusion that I must ask something of you. Oh really? You always have something to ask of us. Ah, those were just little things. Isn't everything just a little thing when compared to raising a summit temple? That's what we really have to do. Raise a summit temple, build a lift station, build lift station bases, lift towers to establish a supply of the following resources to the mountain. So, I think maybe in distribution, yes. We need a lift station base. It goes here somewhere. There. I think we can build the road out to it. Oh, a regular road. We have the lift station base. We need lift towers, which we attach to these rock pillars here. How much are these? So let's build our lift towers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness, look at it. Beautiful. But we have to get these things up here, wood and butter lamps. I guess that's to complete the construction. So here we have wood. Can we send the wood to here? Is this where we have to send the stuff to? This building sends resources to the Summit Temple. I'm gonna send all 18 to there. Get the butter lamp maker going. They're gonna send to there. We need butter. Okay, so we've got all our butter. We need utensils. Okay. So I've done some things. And I've done them in the interest of finishing this this game for the sake of time. And you can see here that I am absolutely nuking my town. And my treasury is going down very quickly. I'm currently paused. Everything I've done is done while paused. Oh. I've basically tried to get as many things as I can to this location while on pause to build the Summit Temple. In the interest of finishing the game, I am going to not balance the budget, and let's see what happens. We press continue. There we go. Have our Summit Temple. We have built it. We went into debt to do it, but we did it. We made it. What an achievement. It's true, this temple will allow us to truly connect with the spirits. This is a huge milestone. We should be proud of ourselves. Yeah, that's great. But what about that mystery? Huh? What mystery? This huge footprint? Weren't you trying to figure that out? Ah, that mystery. Figured it out ages ago. Turns out, these rocky shapes are the result of an earthquake. Nothing supernatural. Didn't I tell you? Good grief, who am I stuck here with? Stop complaining, just for a second, and enjoy the... Congrats, you successfully raised a Summit Temple. You can continue to develop your town without further objectives, or start a brand new settlement different. Well, I'm gonna continue, and I'm going to instantly pause, and I'm just gonna save this. So you can actually see by this map info button that I press in the bottom right corner, it brings up map info, but it also tells me the playtime. So that kind of gives you an idea of how long it takes to actually beat one of these scenarios. This one took me 3 hours, and that was on adept difficulty. And I've been playing a little bit over the last few days, so I am kind of familiar with it. So if you come into this with your first time, it might take you a little longer. And if you play on maybe a harder difficulty or a different mountain, then it might take you a little longer. Just an idea of how long it's going to take you to beat a game. Yeah, I'm going to take a few screenshots here. Because there is a photo mode. You press P, it takes you into photo mode. You can, there it is. So there we go. I'll leave you here. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to another game next month. Otherwise, I'll be getting back to some map making, and I hope to finish my Bay of Gibraltar map pretty quickly here, so expect that maybe in the next couple weeks. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and happy building.